Welcome to Lighting for Profits with Ryan Lee, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing, we discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What's up? How's everybody doing? I hope you are well. Welcome to Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio. I'm Ryan Lee, and I'm your host. Man, I'm excited to be here today. If you guys are looking to start or grow your landscape lighting business, then you are definitely in the right place. We got a sweet guest coming on today. Just in a few minutes, we're going to have Mr. Nels Peterson with Nordic Lighting on the show live with us. So if you guys have questions, make sure to let me know. I want to welcome everyone who is listening, everyone who is watching. We are live on Turfs Up Radio. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, we'll be live on a podcast here soon. So if you don't know Nels Peterson, you don't know lighting. I think I came up with that. But honestly, he is one of those guys that you just need to get around. His passion for lighting is contagious, and he's quite the wealth of knowledge in terms of design and sales and all that stuff. So I'm excited to have him on the show. He is, I'm a little bit jealous of him because he is like the most interesting man in the lighting world. He's very stoic. And so I'm excited to have him on. He's going to be our guest. So make sure you guys stick around. And if you have any questions, jump on Facebook or YouTube and let me know. And by way of reminder, I want to remind you to come see me at Holiday Bright Lights. We're doing their kickoff event, and I'm going to be down there representing myself with Landscape Lighting Secrets. I'm giving a little talk or whatever there, but I'm also going to be there with Turfs Up Radio. So King Darren is going to be there. King Darren running Turfs Up Radio live from that event. That's July 29th, 30th, and 31st. So make sure you guys go to holidaybrightlights.com and register. And I look forward to seeing you there. I know a lot of people have reached out to me and said they're going, so I'm super excited to go do that. I also I have to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to Russell Owens. If you guys don't know him, go look him up on Facebook. He is the station manager. He has his own show. He has several shows on Turfs Up Radio. He doesn't sleep, and he's always promoting me. He's always supporting me, and he's supporting everyone around him. So he's just an all-around great dude. But he came out with another promo for Lighting for Profits that he released today. So go to Turfs Up Radio on Facebook and check out that little video he made to support the show. So thank you, Russell. And thank you guys all for your support. I appreciate it, you guys. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of support you guys have given us here on Turfs Up Radio, on YouTube, on the podcast. I mean, you guys are awesome. So I really, really appreciate it. I couldn't do any of this without your support. So thank you. Now, guys, it's happy July 6th. Is it the 6th? Yeah. So I hope you guys had a great July 4th. I hope you had a great Independence Day weekend. It was the longest July 4th weekend I can remember in a long time. It was like we celebrated it Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday. I mean, it was just all day, every day, 4th of July. And, I was actually on the Weekend Review, the show that Darren does every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. We're doing the Weekend Review where a bunch of us hosts get together and talk about either what went on in the previous week or what's coming on and stuff like that. And we were talking about, of course, Independence Day. And, it came up. I think it was Russell that said, man, these guys, they started their own country. Can you imagine? And it's so awesome because they did, can you imagine starting your own country? I mean, we are here trying to start our own businesses and we're complaining and whining and whatever else. These guys started a country. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if they can start a country, I promise you can start a business, And I actually saw it was shared on Facebook. I think it was Paul Gosselin shared yesterday the copy of the Declaration of Independence and said it was they created the greatest breakup note ever. So I thought that was pretty awesome. But really, it got me started thinking, if these guys can start a country, then we can certainly start and run a business. It's like, it's not that complicated. But the problem is we, okay, are our greatest enemy. We get in our own way, right? And so because these are forefathers, because people are still fighting for our freedoms today, because people make these sacrifices for us, I feel like it's our obligation to, take advantage of those freedoms and choose to work on our businesses. We have to choose the right? And most people in business, they tend to get distracted with things that really don't matter a whole lot. And one of those things is competition. A lot of people worry about their competition and what this guy's doing, what that lady's doing, whatever. When in reality, what you need to be worried about is what you're doing. You need to be worried about you, right? And I'm not saying it doesn't make sense to check out the competition and see what they're doing. Sure. But I really think that we get blinded by things that are going on around us, and we don't see what's going on with us, right? And I know there's some old timers that listen and that I know that I'm friends with, and they don't want any part of this. maybe that's you, and maybe you think, you know what? Yeah, there's whatever. Ryan, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't hire your replacement. No one can sell like me. No one can design like me. No one can install like me. No one can be a business owner like me. And that's okay, because honestly, I used to think like that too. I remember thinking, and I probably said it out loud, like, there's no way that someone could sell as good as me. But honestly, that was a lie, because I do believe that people can sell as good as me. I believe that people can sell better than me. And, but it was something that held me back. And part of it was because the customers would tell me that. They would tell me, oh, I'm just excited because you're the business owner here, and that made me believe that they would only buy from me because I was the business owner, that if I sent just a salesperson there, that they couldn't do as good of a job. But honestly, that just wasn't the truth. And so I wish that I would have found someone early in my career, like 15 years ago, that would have forced me to do the things that I didn't want to do. And I'm going to be that person to you guys. Okay. If you listen to the show and then dread putting things into place that either my guests or myself go over, then guess what? That is exactly the thing that you should be doing. If you dread it, if you want to fight it and you want to be like, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're like, it doesn't work for me, I've tried that, the resistance is strong. I'm just here to tell you. Okay. And the resistance will try to talk you out of anything worthy, anything worthwhile. The resistance will try to talk you out of and make you find all these excuses why you shouldn't do it. And what's interesting is the resistance is actually a great gauge of knowing whether you are doing what you're supposed to or not. Because if you dread it and you're like, oh man, I don't want to do this, I don't want to work on my business, I don't want to hire someone, I don't want to hire my replacement, I don't want to train employees, gosh, it's just annoying. That is actually the exact thing you should be focusing on. And so you'll know if you're doing the right thing or not. And if you think about it, a plane takes off against the wind, right? A diamond is created under extreme amounts of pressure. And so you need to realize that if life is too easy and rolling too smooth, then you're probably not doing everything that you should be doing. So you, my friend, are the only person holding yourself back. Okay. And usually these are self-limiting beliefs. These are false beliefs. And we've created them because of what other people have told us, because of our experiences, everything else. And we all have them. I have them. It's just a matter of identifying them and working on them. And it's just baby steps. What's that show? Baby Steps, Bob. I can't remember the name of the show. It has Bob in the name. But it's baby steps, just one thing at a time. And I promise you, the more afraid that we are to do something, the more sure we can be that we have to do it. Okay. And that is because the resistance is our gauge, and the resistance is trying to bring us down, but it actually helps us out because we know if we're doing what we're supposed to or not. And remember, I think a lot of people are, and maybe you're like this too, I know I am, it's hard to try new things. It's hard to take advice because we know that there's a potential for failure, right? And no one wants to fail. No one wants to feel like they didn't succeed and let other people know about it. I mean, especially, I'm doing this live show. I have those same doubts and those same fears every single week. Like, what am I going to do wrong this week? And I already did something wrong this week, right? I mispronounced the show name. I mean, who does that? So just remember this, though. If you fail, you know what fail stands for? First attempt in learning. There is no such thing as failure. There's only learning, right? Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. I am grateful that he did not give up. I am grateful to all those people who have invented the luxuries of life that we have. If they had given up, we wouldn't have those things, right? And I promise you this, somewhere, someone will be grateful to you that you didn't give up. So make sure that you guys are persevering and pushing through. And I guess to tie it back into the 4th of July and independence, don't let the work of our forefathers, okay, don't let that be in vain. And, all the people that have fought and died for your freedom so that you can be you. Like, you can be you. Just be authentic to yourself, okay? And that you can provide for your family and your community, your employees, your clients, right? And just think about that for a moment. Think about the impact that one little business has on the world. Okay. You might think, well, it's just me, myself, right? But you're buying product. So manufacturers are impacted, distributors, your clients. And as you grow, you have employees. And there's all these people that your actions impact. So don't let them down. Okay. It's not just one person. It's not, even if you are just a one-man show right now, your choices are affecting potentially hundreds, if not thousands of people, right? And all those manufacturers and distributors, they all have employees. And all those manufacturers rely on other manufacturers and parts suppliers and everything else. So it's kind of crazy and cool at the same time to think about that. Like, as an entrepreneur, how blessed we are to be able to provide back to the world, right? And so that's one of those things that I think about when I get down, or when I'm like, man, what's the next step? Or can I do something? It's like, yes, you can. And people are relying on you, not just those immediate people that you think of. There are people all over the world that are relying upon you making the right decision. So I encourage you guys to do that. And all that was prompted by the 4th of July somehow. Okay. And it really is just me being grateful to our country, grateful for, people's choices and actions, and they didn't give up, they started a country. So we got this, guys. We got this, and you got this. By the way, we're going to do a quick break, but before we do, I want to thank my new mug sponsor. You guys see this? My new mug sponsor. That came in the mail, and I was like, sweet, because I needed a new mug. My Buc-ee's one was getting old, and it was starting to drip. All right, guys, listen. When we come back, we're going to have the one, the only Mr. Nels Peterson. So I want you guys to stick around, and we're going to welcome on to the show right after this.
Hey, landscape pros, are you tired of digging through rocks and roots and breaking shovels in the process? Then it's time you checked out the Geo Ripper 616. It's a landscaper's dream with the Makita 6 Series 2-cycle engine producing over 4 horsepower of raw performance. The 616 digs deep in up to 16 inches of the toughest soils. Lighting, landscape, and irrigation contractors already love this improved lightweight trencher with its ability to get in and get out faster, easier, and with less ground disturbance. And you will too. This redesigned Geo Ripper 616 comes with 2 heavy-duty digging chains and a whole mess of helpful extras. To learn more about the Geo Ripper and how it can help you out in the field, visit georipper.com today.
Hey, lawn and landscape pros, don't turn your lights off after fall. Turn on the lights and start making money during the holidays this winter. Twist on a money-making bulb and join Turf's Up Radio at the Holiday Bright Lights Christmas Kickoff 2021, July 29th through the 31st in Tampa, Florida. Increase your experience through networking. Learn on-site about RGB and Twinkly Pro technology. Meet decorators and leaders in the holiday light industry and much more. Don't be left in the dark. Learn how pros all across the country have already started making more money after fall with Holiday Bright Lights. To register, visit holidaybrightlights.com/Christmas-kickoff. That's holidaybrightlights.com/Christmas-kickoff.
Hey everybody, this is Hecubus from the Nightcap. I'm just sitting here relaxing within the vault with my friends and a tasty, tasty pint. You should stop by and listen in sometime. I'm here every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, live only on Turf's Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio. I'm Ryan Lee, your host, and it is time to welcome on our guest of the week, Mr. Nels Peterson. What is going on?
Hey, welcome, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited to have you on.
And Ryan, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. I got to say, I'm a little jealous of a couple things. One, your name. I mean, let's face it, some mothers, they screwed up when they named their kids, and there's some bad names out there. Yours is not one of them. I mean, Nels Peterson, she must have known the success that you were going to be, right?
Perhaps. I'm named after my great-grandparents, both on both sides of the family. So there was a Nels on both sides, and they turned out pretty good. So I think it was a smart move on her part to name me after some super people in the past. So
that's awesome. So jealous of the name, and then I'm just jealous of your overall appearance. Like, you really are. I'm officially naming you the most interesting man in the lighting world. You've got the beard, you've got it. You can walk into a room and command that room. So totally jealous. Congratulations.
Well, you're so kind. I don't know if it's true, but you're so kind.
I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen you speak, and then people just like listen to whatever he says. Well, so let's get into it. How long have you been into the lighting industry? How long have you owned your own business?
I did my first landscape lighting installation 30 years ago for a friend and future client. And shortly after that, I needed a new job. I was in the banking industry. I'm older than most people realize. And I got terminated. They laid 2,000 of us off. And I went to work at a lighting studio here in the Twin Cities. And literally the first day, one of the most successful entrepreneurial women in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, came in and said, I'd buy this stuff if I could find somebody to install it for me. At the time, it was a Kichler tower landscape lighting display. And of course, I told her I was an absolute professional. I knew everything about it. And she bought a bunch of lighting fixtures. Just literally off the top of my head, I came up with a proposal and went out to her house, started putting it in the ground. She came out with a martini in her glass. Vera was kind of a real successful woman. And she said, you don't know the blank about what you're doing. She could tell instantly. I had boondoggled her into it. I told her I'd work really hard. I'd make it look great. I told her I thought this could really be a passion for me. It turned out fantastic. She knew everybody in the Twin Cities, and she referred me to everybody. I still have clients that refer back almost 30 years ago to that one instance. But yeah, the lighting bug bit me back with nightscaping products, and then Kichler had a VHS tape. That's how old we are. And I put the VHS tape in and learned how to install landscape lighting.
That's hilarious. That's awesome, man. I mean, that's such a good example. I think a lot of people are held back by their false beliefs of like, well, I don't know how to do that. I can't do it. You just took action and you're like, yeah, I can do that. Because you knew you weren't going to leave her high and dry, that at the end of the day, you were going to take care of her no matter what.
No, and all these new guys that are coming into the industry, you can do this. This is not brain surgery. This is moving things around till they look good. I mean, that really is the essence. And Joe Y, who's on here, it's his last name is longer than that, but he's on here watching. He is a successful concert lighting person, and he'll tell you the same thing. No matter how much the design has gone into that stage production, the guys are still up there every night, wrenching lights, adjusting, making it focus. You still have to make those adjustments, and you can learn how to do this simply by doing it.
Yeah. That's why I love demos. I know there's kind of that, it's always going to be the ongoing debate. Do you do demos? Do you not? Especially new guys. It's like, man, because you and I can sit there and talk about, wattage and candle power and beam spread, but like, there's nothing like just putting some lights out there and then you move them around because you're like, that actually looks terrible. Let me move this until it looks good.
Yeah, and I mean, the demo question always comes up. I've never done them because it's sort of, for me, it blows the mystery. It's sort of like an interior designer being asked to paint a room for free before they get hired to do it. But unless you've done a lot of projects, there's no other way to really learn. And as long as you don't go overboard with it, and maybe lighting what we call little vignettes, little parts of the landscape, I think not only will you learn a lot, but you can really ensure a successful sale. There's no reason not to do demos. But I've never done them. Oregon Outdoor Lighting, Kyle, his company does a really good job of demoing to clients. They know they're going to sell them. They go out, they demo the client, and they typically sell, I bet 20 or 30% more by showing the customer what's possible. And it can be very successful, very successful.
Yeah, very cool. So what did you do when you would just go set up the lights and then go at night and then move them around until it was right, or see
Even
what was wrong?
even to this day, and it's a huge commitment on my part, but I'm there whenever we have a new project. I'm there that night to install the fixtures, or not to adjust the installed fixtures, and be there with the client and to ask them for a check. There's no better time to ask a client for a check than the night when you walk out on their deck or patio and it looks beautiful. And here's the number one thing about landscape lighting, from being a successful business owner: it always looks better when it wasn't than it was when it wasn't lit. No matter how crappy of a job you do, it almost always looks better. And then I interact with the clients, and that's where we do the adjustments. I usually have one or two guys out there. They start moving fixtures, and we tune it in. Their ideas become my ideas become their ideas, and it just makes for a really successful project.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's the thing. And it does look good because I've seen some bad lighting jobs that you and I would call bad lighting jobs, but the customers absolutely love them because before it was just dark. Now that there's light, so they've truly never been educated on lighting design and everything. But that's the best time to get a check, get referral, build that relationship. I love the idea of a nighttime walkthrough.
Yeah, and when you ask a client, they give you a check, and we go, "Thank you." You know what would really be great is if you could refer me to your friends. Who else do you know that would love to have this in their backyard? And if you just stop talking, they'll give you a name. Half of the time, I'd say 50% of the time, my clients will come up with some name, someone that they think will benefit from my services. And I, unlike most of the people watching, I have no advertising at all. I'm not in any magazines. I'm not in any television, radio. My phone rings every day for people looking for my service.
Very cool. So let's talk about your market. What is it like up in Minnesota? I'm just your typical naive guy from Utah that thinks, I mean, can you even sell landscape lighting in Minnesota?
Oh yeah, I mean we are a little bit more modest. We're not like the Californian or Floridian markets where homes are extremely ornate and large palatial things. Our homes are more modest. People are a little more reserved here, but we still have some incredible large homes and some just regular medium price homes that have landscape lighting. And winter here is the best time to showcase landscape lighting and showcase owners' homes. So yeah, we can sell lighting year round, literally. My market's very competitive. We have 4 or 5 guys up here that just do a phenomenal job. All of them have come into the industry after me, but we're all on good terms, and we all talk and we chat, and we don't bump into each other a lot. I don't tend to go after the smaller projects. I tend to go after the design projects working with interior designers and exterior landscape architects, exterior designers, and builders. So that's where my business comes from, whereas theirs is a more retail market.
Very cool. Do you mind sharing any insight as to how you went about starting and building those relationships?
Yeah, join ASID, American Society of Interior Designers. You can join them as an associate, and it's majority of the individuals are women. Those women own their clients. Those gals will go into a client that doesn't have a ton of money and convince them to buy a $12,000 sofa. They'll
Yeah.
do it all day long. That's the client you need. That's the designer you need on your side. Architects the same way. You call on them. You offer. In my case, I offered to light one of their projects for them, not a permanent installation, but to light it for perhaps a builder showcase or luxury home tour. And that's the same way you get builders. You offer to do a lighting package with the builder just for that period of time when the home is on the showcase or whatever it is. And almost always that project ends up being sold to the homeowner, or if they keep it as a show model, they'll end up purchasing it for you. And now you've got a great in. The other thing is real estate industry has, especially the guys and gals that do new home construction sales. They always showcase one of the most beautiful homes on the front of their catalogs, one of their marketing pieces, or maybe it's a home magazine. Find out who is going to be on that issue and offer to light it for that photo shoot. Night photographs are always great on the front of catalogs. And not only does it get you in with a high-end real estate agent, but it gets you in with the magazine creator or editor, if there is one, and it really showcases the builder. They love to see it. No one says no to that. It takes time, it takes investment from you, but I think it's money well spent.
I love it. That's great feedback. I hope you guys are taking notes. I remember when someone first told me that the interior designer owns that customer and they control their checkbook. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. But when I saw it in person, it was crazy because you end up really kind of dealing with, like, you don't even really deal with the homeowner because they don't even get to say anything. The interior designer cuts them off and writes the checks for them and everything else. And it's such a magical relationship when they trust you to do your thing. I mean, that's where the big bucks are made right there.
Yeah, and if you share a coordination fee, it's the best marketing dollars I think you can spend.
100%. I love it. So how did you mentioned some competition up there. How did you set yourself apart? I guess it's probably through this networking, but is there anything else you've done to kind of set yourself apart as an authority in the industry?
Well, quite a ways back, I actually worked for a really high-end residential electrical company that did both line voltage, low voltage, and even audio visual. And that allowed me to have the credibility to say that no matter what the project entailed, I could handle it. It was a great inroad with builders. And that set me apart from everybody because everybody else was driving around a pickup truck with some shovels. And I was driving around in a vehicle that had, a license number on it. And I had a crew to back me up. And so my advice would be to set yourself, get some strategic partners with AV guys and with electrical contractors specifically. They can really expand your offerings to client and they build a tremendous amount of credibility. And the other thing that I've done, none of my other competitors in the marketplace here are American Lighting Association accredited. None of them are AOLP accredited. I designed a program so that I could be accredited. Mark Carlson and I predominantly, Matt Broyles was also involved in that. We came up with the COLD, Certified Outdoor Lighting Designer program with the AOLP. And that really, I have a credential behind my name, I say, I am a certified outdoor lighting designer. That instantly brings credibility on every project that I have, especially when you're in front of other professionals like ASID professionals, AIA, American Institute of Architects, or ASLA, American Society of Landscape Architects. I would join all three of those organizations.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think, just if I'm giving my personal opinion here, it's sometimes hard to see the value of having that cold behind your name, talking to a homeowner that has no idea about it. But what you just said was super important. If you're going to go approach the ASID and some of these other industry professionals, they would pretty much expect you to have something like that behind your name. And if you don't, then who are you, right? So that's a great point.
They want to work with other people that have that behind their name.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to go research and find out what it is, but they want to be working with other accredited and credentialed professional contractors.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. So, as a business owner, you've been doing this for 30 years. What sort? Is there anything that's thrown you off your game a little bit, or surprised you about owning your own business? It's harder than you thought, or anything like that?
Yeah, the hardest thing for me is logistics. I can do everything from the design and sales process. I've got down pat, but what kills me is the planning. And not following through with that plan. Taking 3 hours to drive to 3 different supply houses to grab product, or having to do all the logistics, or managing the employees, or working with the contractors to make sure the site conditions are ready for landscape lighting installation. That's what derails me. And I think the other thing that always threw me for a loop is how dependent people are on their own network of professionals, especially when you're dealing with celebrity clients and you're dealing with high net worth clients. Often there's a security professional, there's certainly an estate manager, and usually a gardener or landscape manager on the project. You have to become their friends first, and you need to bring them into the project, or they will derail you. I've lost some huge projects because I didn't include those people as part of the decision-making process and the design process. Even if the client doesn't want to introduce you, you have to find out who they are, make contact with them.
That's great advice.
You have to be a part of that team.
Yeah. I mean, they'll find a way to make you or break you, for sure.
Yes.
I've experienced the same thing. So that's great advice. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, I've got a lot more questions I want to ask you, but we do have to take a quick break. So if you don't mind sticking around, I really appreciate you being here.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Again, this is Nels Peterson with Nordic Lighting and with Sterling Lighting. So we're going to ask him a little bit about that too, and an event they have coming up. So guys, stick around. We'll be right back in just about 2 minutes.
Attention all veterans. Have you heard about Turfs Up Radio's Jobs for Vets program? If you are looking for a job and you're interested in working in the landscape and snow removal profession, there just might be a company in your local area that is looking to hire. All you have to do is send us your resume at jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. That's jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey, lawn and landscape pros. Don't let your edge go dull. Your competitive edge. Sharpen your edge at the GIE Plus Expo this October 20th through the 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky. Innovative products, latest technology. Walk to walk. Talk face-to-face with engineers that design your favorite equipment. Then step outside and dive into the hands-on demo area where you can drive, dig, and compare equipment to your heart's delight. This year, the wow gets even bigger with the new UTV test track, the hands-on drone zone, and free parking. Register now at GIE-expo.com, and we'll see you in Louisville, Kentucky this October.
Yeah. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. The Weekend Review.
The Weekend Review.
Join King Darren and all of your favorite Turfs Up Radio hosts, including Hecubus, Eric, the Turf Teacher Jones, Ryan Lee, Wayne, the Prophet Bowles,
One opportunity.
his son Daniel, the Ford, the Green Veteran,
Giddy up.
and many more. Join us live as we unpack the week and share what you may have missed live on Turfs Up Radio. That's the Weekend Review, Saturdays, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Yeah! Oh, yeah.
Do you hear that? It's quiet. No sounds of anger, attempts to throw a phone or computer out the window, or annoyance trying to change your business to make it fit into a software program. Crew Control just works. It's easy to do your scheduling. You can be up and running in less than a day. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. Give it a try for yourself with our 2-week free trial. crewcontrol.com. That's crewcontrol.com.
All right. Welcome back to Lighting for Profits here on Turfs Up Radio. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and we'll be podcasting here later this evening. Want to welcome back our guest, Mr. Nels Peterson with Nordic Lighting and with Sterling Lighting. How you doing, Nels?
Hey, I'm doing great.
So let's talk about your involvement with Sterling. I know that's a fairly new venture for you, but gosh, you've been getting out and about and visiting tons of contractors. So I kind of want to pick your brain on that. How's that been going for you?
You know, it's been going really well. I think they were kind of looking at bringing me on for a while. And, you know, we talked about some of the innovations that Sterling has already come out with. And, you know, they ran them by me as a contractor, as a customer. And I didn't want to put my name behind any company. Most of the fixtures out there are every company's got good stuff. Every company has bad stuff. And I just didn't want to be associated with anything that wasn't absolutely rock solid bulletproof. And when they asked me to become a spokesperson and national salesperson for the company, I said, one, I've got to keep my Nordic business. I've got to keep it because that brings credibility. I'm not just out there selling product. I'm out there promoting product that I use myself. And I know what it's like to have fixtures fail. And I know what it's like when things don't go right. And I wanted to be with a company that could support our installers and landscape lighting professionals out in the field. And the other thing for me is when I go out and make a sales presentation, I wanted a product that this is our shameless self-promotion. This is our well light. It's our SL06 well light. And they put this in my hand before it was brought out. And it's a battleship. It weighs a ton. And I know that the type of fixtures that Sterling produces, I can put in any customer's hands and they immediately get it. This is value. This is quality. And when you take them apart, you see all the electronics. The people get it. Wait, this is a lot more than what I'm used to seeing, especially if I'm out competing against somebody. No one else is, unless they're bringing Sterling, isn't bringing something that is that cool. It's just really cool, really great product. The other companies out there offer really great stuff too, but Sterling hit a home run on each and every single one of the things I was looking for. So it's a really easy company to promote.
Very cool. Let's see the top of it. You showed the side. I want to see the top, like right down the middle of it.
So what makes this so, it's all drive over, but what makes this so great and what sets our company apart from everybody else is our diode is a single source illumination. Most drop-ins are multiple, and you just don't get the crispness from that you do with single source illumination. And I don't shy away from talking about manufacturers at all, but WAC, for example, is one of the companies that uses single source diode illumination. Some of the garden light fixtures do as well. And when you look at those fixtures' performance, I think that concept and that design is better than the multiple source ones. Though, there's some really good multi-source lamps out there too, and no one should be afraid to using them. But this was really the cool thing and sustainable thing that I was looking for in my business.
Very cool. No, it's been awesome to kind of see you document your journey as you go meet with different companies and stuff like that. Is there anything that you've noticed, maybe trends, good or bad, where you're like, this is what I see people struggling with the most, or this is what are people asking you? What are people struggling with when you go meet with them?
Well, I think what the biggest struggle nationwide is that there are people getting into this business that shouldn't be. And it's not because they lack passion. It's simply a profit center. And what happens are two things happen. One, the client doesn't get a very good project, so it completely destroys our industry's credibility. And I'm not talking about quality of product. They just put in a really bad system. Lots of little crappy things everywhere because they lack passion for it. Maybe they're a lawn and landscape company and they're really great at mowing lawns, but they don't have time to invest in learning how to do landscape blending. This has got to be a passion because it's an art form. It's an art form no different than painting with oils or charcoal or photography. This is an art form. And if you don't have a passion for it, you're not going to succeed. And you can do other things, but you really have to like it. And I think so. I think we have a lot of people that aren't passionate about it that are doing it because it's a profit center. And I think all manufacturers are responsible for that. They constantly are saying anybody can do this. No, not everybody can do this. Everybody can install something, but they can't do it well. And that's why programs like yours, Garden Light has got a great program for their installers. They don't just turn them out and say, hey, go out and demo and sell a bunch of stuff. They actually have really meaningful educational programs. Sterling does as well. Just those are the ones I'm most familiar with. It's an investment of your time and to learn how to be really talented at this. So I think that's in the second industry. The other problem is you can buy something that looks like this on Amazon for $7 to $8, and not that it's bad, but if you're using product that's made specifically to be sold at big box stores and to be sold online all over the place, you're going to have some really confused customers. I don't know how you can make a living when you're selling something that can cost $500-$600 and the client perceives they can go out on the internet and buy it for $6 or $7. They don't understand the difference in those products, and the consumers I don't think have ever been more confused. Tommy, the lighting geek, a good friend of mine, I think would agree. We're suffering from the do-it-yourself industry. Everyone can do everything. I can reupholster my sofa, I can remodel my kitchen, and I can do landscape lighting. And they can't. They can't do it well.
Yeah, great perspective. I appreciate that. And to be honest, when I got into the lighting business, it's not like I grew up being passionate about lighting. I didn't even know what it was. And the reason I got into it was a profit center. It was like, hey, this is cool. I can make good money, be outdoors. This is great. But it quickly became a passion. And I mean, that's the only thing that's going to make you be out at 11:30 midnight doing those walkthroughs, making sure your clients are happy. And that's what's going to take your business to the next level. That's when you do get those referrals. That's when people are like, you've got to meet this guy. You've got to meet this gal. You've got to meet this company. No one does business like this. And it's that passion that leads to that.
Yeah. And what most people miss by not going back at night with that client is this is an emotional sale. And I always teach people the sale happens way before this, but it's the second sale. You're not only selling them on what you did, but you're solidifying the whole client relationship, and that can't take place unless you're not there. The lighting evokes so much emotion. It makes me feel, I'm so happy about it. I mean, I just love going out to these projects. But the client truly isn't closed and happy until you're out there that one night, showing what you've done for them. It's like selling a car and then not being there to deliver it. I don't know how you do that.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I guess let me ask you about. I know Sterling, you guys have your event coming up. You want to tell us a little bit about that and kind of what to expect and when it is?
Yeah, get in touch with me. I'll get you all the details on it. It's the third week in August. I'd have to open my calendar to make sure I get the dates right. But
I think it's the 18th through the 20th. But
because you're going to be there. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. I think it's a huge opportunity for people to hear you. But we decided to make a commitment to producing product here in the United States. And to do that, we needed a production facility. We purchased an entire huge warehouse production facility in Danville. We're currently still going under construction. It will be ready for us. We'll be able to bring in people for design classes, host people like you, inventory a tremendous amount of product, and we will be moving to U.S. production on most of our fixtures here in the near future. Even all of our internal electrical components now are being assembled and made here in the U.S. So we're trying to bring as much here stateside. From a sustainability standpoint, China is, as we've experienced during COVID, China is a disaster waiting to happen with shipping and logistics and materials in the political climate. We're going to try to circumnavigate that, and I think other manufacturers will. But I think we're ahead of the curve. In Danville, it will be an opportunity for them not only to hear you. Tom Grandy's going to be there. Patrick Harders, who's one of the most successful people in their industry, is going to be there, and several really fantastic contractors that buy our product will share their stories and talk about why products like Sterling can transform your business. I mean, that really, using the right product, whether it's from us or someone else, can transform your business. It really can.
Well, and the most interesting man in the lighting world will be there as well.
I will be there, and a lot of the guys probably that are on the show today probably have heard me talk about sales, but I'll be sharing my insights, both from traveling all over the United States, talking with other contractors. But if you just do 4 or 5 things that we'll talk about from a sales standpoint, you're going to find out that those things will truly revolutionize your sales process. And there are practices that Ryan, that you do as well. But to hear it over and over again, I think is really important. And then there's some design stuff. We're going to do a little bit of design stuff. Unlike other times where I've been with different contractors, I'll actually do a much larger dog and pony show of some of the most unique projects I've done over my last 30 years. And we'll be showcasing that in photos.
Very cool. That's awesome, man. I'm totally looking forward to it. Before I let you go, when we talk about design and sales, I know it's hard to rank them or whatever, but I've always kind of viewed you as a designer, right? Like to me, that's your strength, but you're also very, very good at sales. So how do you manage that? I feel like there's some people that are so passionate about design that they forget about sales, and they're like, it's not about the money and everything else. And then there's people who tend to be more like the way my mind thinks. It's like, no, you need to know sales because you need to sell yourself that you're a good designer, but how do you balance those? Where do you put more weight on?
In a nutshell, first of all, when people tell you they have a budget, they're lying to you. They have no idea what this stuff costs. They have no idea. 2, they don't always adhere to that budget. So put the money part of it out of it. You're going to sell them what they need. That's your job. Interior designers, and if we go back to that reference, the most successful ones aren't the best designers. They're the ones that convince the clients to spend the most money. And that's what you have to do. So sales comes before design. You can't do a good job unless you're capable of selling the project to enough of an extent for that to be able to have the resources to make it look good. The best interior designers are the best salespeople. And you can't listen to the client. They have no idea what landscape lighting costs. I could go on Amazon and buy a bunch of trinkets and do a really big job for nothing. They have no idea what it's cost. They have no expectations. And there's exceptions. I know everyone's going to argue about that, but 90% of your clients have absolutely no idea what it is. Your job is to find out how much pain they can suffer before they cut you off and take it right to that limit. Because that's what car dealerships do. If you learn how to sell cars or vacuum cleaners or whatever, that's all it is finding out what it is that your client is willing to spend and spending all of that and creating an incredible project for them or giving them the best value you can. These budgets, how do you work within a budget? I don't ever work within a budget. I set the budget. I just find out how much pain they can tolerate. And that's really what it is. It's painful. They have to take things out of their checkbook. And they'll tell you, when you reach the threshold, they will tell you, I can't spend another dime. They say it in many different ways, but you owe it to them to do that. You owe them the best product and the best design and enough money so that you won't resent selling them something.
I love that, man. I love that message. And it should be painful. And what's cool, this is one reason I love the lighting industry, because you get them to that point. It's so painful. And then you go do that walkthrough and they're thanking you for
They
the
are.
pain that you caused them to suffer. Isn't that great?
Yeah. And always give them something they don't want. Car dealerships do that all the time. They'll say, well, you're going to have, we're going to have to, sell you. They don't do it anymore, but these say we have to install car mats. What's the first thing people say? Oh, no, I'll go to Target and get my own car mats.
Right.
And of course they end up giving them to you for free, but you have to diffuse your clients and you have to create a design so that they feel a part of it and they feel like they're in control, like they have a right to reject something. So I always come up with one or two little things that aren't quite a great idea, and then I let them kick it to the curb, and then you know what?
Yeah.
Their whole attitude completely changes. They become relieved, and
they won.
The whole sale changes once you've diffused them.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, that's
they
so
want
cool.
to say yes. All clients want to say yes. They just don't know how.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Great advice. Great advice. And I preach a similar message that you are doing them a disservice if you're listening to them too much. Yep. Because if they tell you, well, we only want to spend $5,000, but it needs 10. Listen, I was guilty of this stuff. I would go install a $5,000 system and then see how unhappy they were with the result. And that was on me because they're going, well, I thought you were the lighting designer. You should have talked us into it. They're teaching me how to sell, So sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And trust me, I did several times. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on here. Is there any final advice you want to share, or how can people get in touch with you?
My email's really easy. It's Nels@nelspeterson.com. That's my website as well. Just Nels@nelspeterson.com. You can find every way to contact me possible, and you can also get a hold of me through Sterling Lighting. But Nels@nelspeterson.com, you'll get me right away. And I'm really, really busy, but I try to get back to everybody as quick as I can.
Good, man. Well, you're doing great things for the industry, great things for yourself, and just admire your passion, and it is contagious. So you're doing the right thing. Thanks again for coming on.
You're a gift to our industry. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Nels. All right, guys, stick around. I'm going to close the show as I usually do with my lighting tip of the week. So stick around. We'll be right back in like a minute and a half. A short break.
Hey, this is Jeff Hesser, senior contributor and co-host of the Weekend Review here on Turfs Up Radio. Can't make it to major green industry events, but want to stay connected? Don't worry, we have you covered. Be sure to download the Turfs Up Radio app or visit our website. We'll bring you the live coverage you need to keep you up to date with everything that happens in our industry. And to find out where we'll be next, simply visit greenindustryevents.com. That's greenindustryevents.com. And always remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Attention all pros. When you leave a deal with your clients, don't leave money on the table. Join Turfs Up Nation today and partner with pros all across the country who can help you make more money for services that are related to your project. Landscapers need plumbers, and pool installers need hardscapers, and every combination in between. Turfs Up Nation is free. Your information is secure, and you will be connected with other pros in the industry that want to do business with you. Not to mention property owners who need help with just about everything. If you think your clients don't need you and the connections you have, think again. Join turfsupnation.com today and start putting more money in your pocket for services you never knew you could. To sign up for this free service, go to turfsupnation.com. Hey, everybody, it's Brooke Ford, host of The Green Veteran here on Turfs Up Radio. Be sure to check me out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. You're going to hear some great one-on-one interviews with green industry professionals. We're going to talk about best business practices, highlight innovative products, and also provide some insight into some new emerging technologies in the field. That's The Green Veteran, airing each Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Welcome back to Lighting for Profits. I'm Ryan Lee here on Turfs Up Radio. What a great guest. I'm so grateful that he came on and shared some, man, if you guys weren't taking notes, seriously, get the podcast when it comes out and take notes, because what you just got was a ton of valuable information. So I loved what he was talking about with what I call referral partners, but basically working with those interior designers, those landscape architects. So much opportunity there, guys. What I want to do is just leave you guys real quick with my lighting tip of the week. And I'll just get right into it. I mean, it's invest in yourself, invest in your business, and stop viewing everything as an expense, right? And in business, most of us just think of like, income and expense. Like that's just one or the other, right? But honestly, that's not how it works. We think income, expense, and then the difference between those two numbers is our salary. That's like what you pay yourself, right? And how do I know this? Because I used to think like that too. So that's how I know. But honestly, when you start to see opportunities and investments as opposed to risks and expenses, that's when your life will change and your business will thrive. Okay? Did you know that most franchises, like if you go to start a franchise today, they require you to spend a certain amount of money, usually like 50 grand your first year out of the gate on advertising. And then after that, a percentage of sales every single year thereafter. So why do you think they require that? You're starting out, it's like you don't have all this extra money, but they're asking you to spend more. You pay the franchise fee, you got to pay for all this other startup equipment and everything. And then they want you to spend an extra $50,000 a year minimum to get started. Well, the reason that is because they want you to invest in yourself, invest in your business. And they know that advertising, when done correctly, is not an expense. It's an investment, right? And that every dollar in is going to pull out $2, $3, $5, $10 out, right? And I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people say, I can't afford something. I can't afford an office manager, or I can't afford a salesperson. I can't afford an installer. I can't afford a nicer truck. I can't afford Google ads. I can't afford direct mail. I can't afford a business coach. But whatever it is that you can't afford, you need to change your mindset and change your mindset from, I can't afford this to, I can't afford not to have it. Right. I heard a radio ad one time in Dallas. I think it was a car commercial. And I think it was a leasing company, a car leasing or whatever. And it said, the call is free. Not calling could cost you thousands. And that is just a good example of how I feel like you should view, quote unquote, expenses in your business. Most of these expenses really are investments. And just like a good employee, yeah, you're going to pay them $30, $40, $60, $100,000 a year, but they're going to help you bring in that much more money. And I know I talk about money. The show's called Lighting for Profits. I'm big on profitability, and it's not so that you can get rich quick. It's not so that you can be greedy. It's so that you can give. It's so that you can give back to your clients. You can afford to use better equipment, better product. You can give back to your employees. You can give back to your community. You can give back to the industry, right? And so you can do what you want with that money. If you don't have a need to make more money, it still is important to bring in more money. If you're going to be a business owner, you better be making a lot of money because of the sacrifices that you have to go through. And you need to be able to take care of your employees. You need to be able to take care of your customers. And you can't afford to give them the red carpet, white glove service if you're not charging enough. So I'm always big on profits. And I told myself when I got started with this, I wasn't never going to apologize for that, right? Because I kind of learned the wrong way that how important it is. So invest in yourself, invest in your business. I promise you, when you stop viewing these things as expenses and risks and start viewing them as opportunities and investments, your life is going to take off. You're going to thrive. So that is my message for you today. I want to thank my guest, Mr. Nels Peterson, for coming on. He was an absolute blast, shared a lot of good little nuggets, good little secrets that he's got, that he's done over his career. And so thank you to him. And always check out, Turfs Up Radio has a new website. It's launching. So check that out and keep working on your business, guys. I promise you, if you do, your future self will thank you. So make sure you do that. And don't forget to have a good week. You guys go out there and get it. Get what's already there for you and take that next step so you can go from operator to owner. You guys have a good week.